Hey, I'm Richie Castellano, and in today's video, I'm going to build 4 presets for the Line 6 Pod Go. If you've watched my other videos, you know that's how I usually like to do it. I do a clean preset, a gritty preset, a crunch preset, and a lead preset. I find this covers the most sonic ground for me, and I'm able to really use those 4 presets in almost any situation. So here we go. Let's dive right into building 4 presets from scratch. Now, if you look here, there are 4 sounds, 4 presets per bank. So I'm going to do A is going to be very clean, B is going to be a little dirtier, C is going to be my crunchy rock rhythm sound, and D is going to be my scorching lead sound. So let's do that. To see what's in each of these presets, you have to hit View. Now, be very careful. While you're in View, you're protected here, meaning that when you use this scroll knob up top, it won't switch presets, but as soon as you leave the view mode here, it's going to switch preset numbers. So make sure you save often, and if you're going to use this knob and you don't mean to switch presets, make sure you have view engaged where you can see the signal flow. The way this works is your guitar is here and it goes from left to right. So let's start with the first block. This is the input block. We have a noise gate built in there, which is great. It frees up a block so you don't have to add a noise gate later. Very cool. Then we have a few things already set up for us. We have a volume pedal. Then we have a wah. Now these things can be moved. If you don't want your volume pedal, say, all the way in front of your rig, you can have it at the back. And you do that just by hitting the action button and then scrolling. And now the volume pedal is at the back of the rig instead of the front of the rig. And the volume pedal defaults to the pedal here, so it's automatically mapped. So that's easy enough. Now, we have the wah here I mentioned before, and you have a bunch of different wahs. If you want to switch what kind of wah it is, all you do is you press this knob in, and then you can scroll through different types of wah. You have 2 empty blocks, and you can put any kind of effect you want in each of these blocks, and they can also be moved. Everything can be moved here. You can switch the order up. It's very easy to do. Here is an effects loop. We're going to get into that a little later. Here, of course, is the amp model. Then we have a cabinet. This can also be an impulse response if you click on this and you scroll over to impulse response. But we're going to keep it on cab for now. Then we have an EQ, and you can pick the different types of EQs. Let's stick with parametric for now. And then you have 2 empty blocks here. So you have 4 empty slots where you can put whatever you want. And then we have the output, which has pan and the overall volume level of the preset. Okay, so that's the basic layout of this, and we're going to build our sound. I want like a Fender kind of sound, like a clean Fender sound. Let's make it simple. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to go through this quickly. I like a deluxe. Let's go with the deluxe vibe. Okay, let's check out the cabinet. Ooh. I like that it has a little more thump. All right. We'll take a little treble off of this. Or what I can do is I can put a high cut. I can make it lower. The high cut is built into the cabinet block. Okay. Now what I can do is I'll add a compressor. I like a compressor because it gives you more sustain, it doesn't color the sound that much, and it allows you to hit the amp hard without going into distortion if that's what you want, or controlling the amount of distortion. Because right now when I hit this hard, it's breaking up a little bit, and for this sound, I don't want that much of that. So to add that, I'm just going to press this button in, and we'll scroll over to Dynamics, and I'm going to go to Kinky Comp. So I like that. When you bring the mix down, that's something that you can call parallel compression. It's basically you're not only sending the compressed signal to your main output, to the speakers, or your speakers in this point, but you're also sending the compressed signal and the dry signal, and you can balance how much of that you want. And what that does is it gives you a little bit more of a natural sound sometimes. That sounds really nice. We'll stick with that. Let's add a reverb at the very end. Now, if I wanted to move the reverb, we can do that. We can move it wherever we want. But right now, I'm going to press this button here, scroll over to reverb, and I'll go with a spring. That's nice. Good. And you can adjust anything you want. Like maybe I want to make it a little wetter, a little drier. And then you can hit the page button here to go to the next page of parameters. So there you go, pretty simple. Let's add a chorus too. I'm a fan of the Trinity. Oh yeah. And I like this sound. I just want less of it. So I'll go over to mix and bring that down. I like that. Okay, so then I want a little bit of a delay, nothing crazy. So I'll scroll back over to this empty block, hit this, go to delay. Now, I don't have a lot of options here because I'm running out of DSP, but we still have a perfectly good delay ready to go, so I'll hit that. Now, it's going before the amp. I don't want it before the amp. I want it after the chorus, so I'm going to hit action and move it after the chorus. Pretty simple. Okay. And that's a little crazy. I don't want that much of it. Just a touch. Just wanted to get lost in the reverb. You know what? I think I would rather have the delay mix controlled by this pedal instead of the volume pedal, which I don't really need that much. So let me scroll over there. And I'm going to turn it off just by pushing this. This is a bypass. So we don't need that. And also, let's get rid of this mapping. You see how it's in brackets? That means it's mapped to a controller. So I'm going to press down on this rotary encoder here. Okay, and you see how it says expression 2? I don't want that. I'm going to switch to none. Okay? Now, I'm going to scroll back over to my delay. And I'm going to hit view again just to get out of the assignment there. And I'm going to hold down the rotary encoder under mix. And it's going to ask me, do I want to learn? I can either select it here, but I want to learn it, make it easy. So I'll just press this in, this lights up, and I'll move this. So now it knows that I want expression 2. And I'll make the max value like 40 or something. So now, when I use the expression pedal, so that works out much better for me. And we got that, beautiful. And now I will go back to the input block because maybe I want to put that gate on, take some of that noise out. So there you go. And I'll bring the decay down. Nice sound. Very cool. So another thing here, if you look at mode, all these light up. So I'm gonna save this really quick. Now, to save it, you just hit these two buttons together. Now I want to talk about how I'm going to assign these to the different pedals. So this is where it's assigned. Now that's fine, but let's say, for example, I'd rather have the kinky comp over here and the spring over here. Well, that's not too hard to do. So what you do is you go back to view so you can look at the individual blocks, and I'm going to go to kinky comp, and I'm just going to press this down. And it's asking me, do I want to assign the foot switch to this block? Yes, it went away. I'll do it again. Yes. Okay, and then I'm going to go over to my reverb, and I'm going to hold this button down. Yes. Good. So now if I go back to the view, there it is. There's all my effects within this. So I can go totally dry here. And now if I want to go back to preset mode, I just hit the mode button. And now I can switch to presets. So let's save and name this. So save, again, these two buttons together, and then we can pick a name. So I'll just call this clean. And save. Good, so we have clean. All right, easy enough. So now let's make our gritty sound. So I'll go here, empty preset. Now for a little bit of a, sound with some more breakup to it, I like to use the matchstick. So let me go to there. That's pretty cool. It's a little distorted for me. Okay, I'm not crazy about the cabinet sound here. It's fine, but I think I would like something else. So this is a good opportunity to use the impulse response. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to switch to impulse response and click there to confirm. Now I have one impulse response loaded. It's an Ownhammer rectifier. I'll put a link below, and I'll put a link below to these presets if you want to mess around with them. That's pretty good. It's got a lot of woof to it. So let's de-woof it here with the low cut. Good. All right, and maybe some high cut too. Good. All right. And now I'm going to try the compressor again because I want to control the breakup, and that's what I use the compressor for. So click here, go to Dynamics, Kinky Comp again. Working pretty nice. So I'll raise the level a little bit just to give me a tad more breakup. That's cool. I like that. Now that I compressed it, it's getting noisy, so I'll use the noise gate to mitigate that. Very good. Okay, so we got that. Let's add another. Let's go back to the reverb here at the back. So I'll add the reverb. I'll do the same thing here. I like that spring. I want to make it a little darker, so I'll just move the high cut down. There we go. Maybe a little less of it. Let's put a fancy delay on here. There we go. All right, sounds good to me. Let's save it. I'll call this grit. So an important thing with presets is to make sure the volumes are balanced between them. So let's go back and forth between our two presets. So we have the first one. Seems like the second one's a little louder. So all we have to do is go to the end here, see the main out, bring it down to dB, save it, confirm, and try again. That seems better to me. Good. All right, now let's talk about our heavy rhythm sound. So I know for this that I usually gravitate toward the placater dirty, so let's just start with that. Okay. I might want a different type of cabinet, so let's switch to the double XL. Change the mic to the 4038, which is kind of beefy. Now it's very tubby, it's got some hair on it. You could do the low cut, high cut here, but call me crazy, I think there's a difference. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm imagining this. When you use the low and high cut in the EQ, I feel like the curves are a little steeper. That's cool, I like that. Now, I can go even crazier with the high cut. Now it's starting to sound like it has a cold, but what we can actually do is go back to the amp and kick some treble up and some presence and compensate for that. And maybe it's somewhere in between. Yeah. That's cool. Let me try this. There's a fat switch here. That might be something that's cool to have on a foot switch. So let me save this before I attempt this. All right. I believe you have to be in the right mode. So let's switch to pedal mode. So now we're in the pedals. Be very careful of this because you can screw things up this way. So you have to be in pedal mode, not preset mode, if you want to assign a parameter to a pedal. So I'm going to hold down fat, hit learn. Let's put it right here. And then I'm going to hold this down. There you go. So now if you see, if we go back to fat, I have a fat switch now built into this preset, and it didn't really add any DSP. It's just using something that's already there. Cool. Let's add the classic tube screamer type thing here right in the beginning. So I'll go over to distortion, Scream 808, and we'll use the classic setting there. And this is going to necessitate the need for the gate. I might put some of that top end back. And then take some of it out of the amp. Yeah. All right, let me save and name this. We'll call this Crunch. Now, last but not least is our lead sound. So let's do that. We'll go to mode, go to this empty preset right here, and let's get to work. So for the lead, I usually use the Angle Meteor. There it is. And I'm going to go back to my IR for this one. distorting a little bit the output, so I'll bring the level down. Yeah, let's put the noise gate on all the way at the beginning. Good. Now, one thing I really like to do is I like to have a little bit of mid-range, like kicking into the amp, and there's a really cool way to do that that's sort of already set up for us here. And if you go to the very first block, or I'm sorry, second block, you have a wah. I like the weeper, so let's change to the weeper. And right now it's mapped to expression 1. I want it mapped to nothing. So I'm going to hold this down and see where it says expression 1, change that to none. Okay, good. Now let's turn it on with the bypass button here. Go back to view. Obviously that's pretty extreme, so I'm going to find the sweet spot here. So that's a lot. Then the next thing I like to do is I bring the mix down almost all the way off, maybe 15%. Maybe even less. Cool. And that just gives it a little bit of that like vowel-y Shanker thing going on there. Good, very good. Okay, and I'll just add a delay to this. Let's try Vintage Digital. I'm a fan of that one. Okay. Let's say you want to do a rhythmic delay. That's very easy to do. You just push this in, and then it's on quarter notes. Let's change it to the very popular dotted eighth notes. So if I go, and actually let me change the scale to 100%. Here's a little trick. If you want to cheat out like a chorusy effect to your delay without adding a chorus, just bring the scale down like 5%. What it does is it puts the repeats out of time, the left and right repeats out of time with each other just enough to give you like a detune effect. Which is cool. But now I have the dotted on the tap, so I can go. So you can do rhythmic delays with yourself by tapping there. So let's bring the mix back down. And maybe I'll reassign the mix here, because that's how I like doing it. So hold that down, learn, hit that, bring it down to like 42, fine. And now I have, and let's unassign it from here. Good. So there's my lead sound. Let's name that. Okay, I have all 4 sounds ready to go. So if I get out of view mode here, now we can see them. We're in preset mode. To switch between preset and effects block bypass mode or pedal mode, you just hit this mode switch. So now I'm in preset mode, and I can have my clean, my grit, my crunch. But let's say in my crunch I want to kick on that tube screamer, just hit the mode button and kick it on. And we can go to the lead. The lead's a little loud, so what I want to do is I don't want to lower it. I'm going to show you a cool trick that doesn't take up any extra DSP. So let's go back into view, and what I want to do is, let's say right here on this button I want to have like a solo boost. So check this out. I'll scroll all the way over to the output block, and I'm going to hit level. I'm going to hold it down, learn, this button, and now I'm going to put the minimum value at, let's say, like -4. Good. And the maximum value will be at 0. Okay, beautiful. So I'll hit save. So now check this out. When I have this pedal off, it's lower. Then when I press it in, so we just created a solo boost pedal without adding any sort of gain blocks or anything. We just used the output volume block that was already there. It doesn't take up any extra DSP, so very easy trick that you can do to maximize your presets. So there you go, 4 presets for the Line 6 Pod Go. I want to thank Line 6 for sending me this Pod Go to play with. It's really awesome. I love how light it is. I can see this being a really great tool for traveling musicians. And if you like this video, please make sure you give it a like. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to my channel. That helps me tremendously. Thanks for watching. See you next time.